Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Bhaja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Bhaja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari 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 Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopijana Vallabha Yashodanandana Bhaja Jana Ranjana Yashodanandana Bhaja Jana Ranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Radha Madhava Kunda Bihari Shri Kṛṣṇa Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Go Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Rama Sai Gaura Hari Bo Hari Bo Gaura Hari Bo Jaya Jaya Prabhupāda Prabhupāda Jaya Prabhupāda Jayam Vishwād Paramahanta Pribhāsa Kacharya Ashtotar Sima Davaya Charana Arvinda Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Śrīla Prabhupāda ki Janitali Prabhustam Vishnu Pada Stotar Shishimad Śrīla Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Bharata Kur Prabhupāda ki Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vindiki Namacharya Śrīla Haridas Thakur ki Prem se go Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Radha Shivasari Gaura Bhaktavinda ki Shri Radha Krishna Gopa Gopinath Shamakunda Radha Kunde Giti Govardhan ki Vrindavan Dham ki Mayapur ki Gangamai ki Jamunamai ki Tulsi Devi ki Bhakti Devi ki Samavata Bhaktavinda ki Shri Yugadharma Harinam Sankirtan ki Brihat Vidanga ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki Hitai Gaura Pemanandi. Glory to the assembled devotees, all glory to the assembled devotees, all glory to the assembled devotees, all glory to Shri Guru, Shri Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. A reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 10th Canto, chapter 78, 70, 79, 79. I think starting 625. Right? So, I'll just read some verses. We'll repeat verse number 30. That's a more meaningful verse. All are meaningful, but, Kadapani ubhadishta samrabdha vijayasinam mandalani vichitrani charantabidam abravit. Translation. Lord Balaram found Duryodhana and Bhima with clubs in their hands, each furiously striving for victory over the other. As they circled around skillfully, the Lord addressed them as follows. Yuvam tula mahaviryav he rajam he bikudara ekam pranadikam manye utaikam shikshayadhikam. Translation and purport. Said, King Duryodhana, and Bhima, listen, you two warriors are equal in fighting prowess. I know that one of you has greater physical power, while the other is better trained in technique. Purport. Bhima was physically more powerful, but Duryodhana was more advanced in terms of technique. Text 27. Tasmade katarasyeha yuvayo samavirjayo nalakshate jayunyo va viramat bapalorana. Since you are so evenly matched in fighting prowess, I do not see how either of you can win or lose this duel. Therefore, please stop this useless battle. Umagyanativarandasya ganang janasharakaya chakshurumilitam yena tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutare Swayam Rupakadahayam Dadati Swaparantikam. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pastyatya Rishatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Garadha Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So Śrīla Prabhupāda many times said that if Kshatriyas fight, one must be killed. Otherwise you don't give up, you don't stop. If you're a real Kshatriya, then one must die and one must be victorious. So why did Balaram suggesting a truce? No. Because that's also, even though they're engaged in fighting, he's saying they're equal. You're equal in strength. But the real reason is that he has affection for both of them. No. So he doesn't want either one to perish. He has, now one may think, because he addresses Duryodhana. So one may think, oh, yeah, he's favoring his disciple. No. So he didn't want to, but he said it first out of the respect of a formal relationship. No. But he also said it because you are the one who's the cause of all this. This is not Bhima's fault. Although Bhima can be more affected by anger, than Duryodhana. Bhima was very reactive, very emotional, and very prone to fighting and winning. And Duryodhana was a little more diplomatic, and therefore he addressed Duryodhana. You have diplomatic skills, and therefore you should stop. You should stop this. Because neither one will win. But he actually had affection for both. So, but then we'll see in the next verse, Natad vakyam jagrihatu badavayo nipathavat anushmaranta janyonyam duruktam dukritanicha. Shri Shukadeva Swami continued, they did not accept Lord Balarāma's request, O king, although it was logical, for their mutual enmity was irrevocable. Each of them constantly remembered the insults and injuries he had suffered from one another. So, this is a typical situation where, bewildered by the mode of passion, they cannot follow superior instruction. No. And this is very important for us to always remember. We try to be situated in goodness. If we're not situated, some people are not so inclined to goodness. No. Because too much goodness, you don't get anything done. No, you need some passion. No? Some people know how to get things done. Unless someone is totally transcendental like Śrīla Prabhupāda. No? He could be totally in the mode of goodness and get many things done. Because as Prabhupada said, better to be lazy intelligent. No? Otherwise you use your intelligence to engage others. No? Not that you have to do it yourself. Of course, there is a saying, and it's more and more applicable in Kali Yuga, if you want it done right, do it yourself. No. But Prabhupada could do it himself through others, although sometimes he got frustrated, especially when he told them twice and they still made a mistake. And then one time he said, 1, 2, he said, just like your game, 1, 2, 3 times you're out. No. So he said, if I have to tell you 3 times, you can't be too close to me. No. I want people who are efficient, who get things done properly. No. So, anyway, the point is that here's Balaram instructing them, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. They should immediately have obeyed, but because of so much memory of bad things, and therefore Lord Chaitanya instructs us, that Tororivā Sahishnuna, one has to tolerate. And Maladena, you respect. Just like Krishna tells us in chapter 12 of Bhagavad Gita that Yasman Vinojite Loko Lokanojite Chasya, that one should never be perturbed by others, and one should never perturb others. But, Kshatriyas in the middle of a battle, they aren't going to be reflecting on Bhagavad Gita too much. Only Arjuna, because Krishna had freshly planted the Gita in his mind. But even then, as soon as he started fighting, but he was remembering Krishna. Because Krishna said, Ya manushmara yudhyacha. First you remember me, then you fight. Don't fight and then remember me. We do things, sometimes we engage in some activity out of the mode of passion, and then, this wasn't so Krishna conscious. We remember Krishna afterward. So we should try to remember Krishna first. So now we see Jishtam tad anumanvanyo ramo dvaravatim yayo ugrasenadivi pritaye gyativi samupāgataḥ. Concluding that the battle was with the arrangement of fate, Lord Balarāma went back to Dwaraka. There he was greeted by Ugrasena and other relatives who were all delighted to see him. Purport. Śrīla Vishwanath Chakravarti explains the word dṛṣṭvam, fate, indicates that the battle between Bhishma and Duryodhana had been enjoined by Lord Krishna and set into motion by him. So this is a beautiful definition of fate by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. Fate, there is no fate. There's no fate that just happens, some destiny. It's all planned by Krishna. Manuvartante, manusha parti. that everyone's following my path. Everything's being arranged by Krishna, whether it be through his energies, no, or whether it be directly by him. Because when his energies work, they work independently. No. Parasya Shakti Vididai Vishuyate Swabhaviki. They are Swabhaviki. They're working. He has given his energies the power to work. And because they are totally surrendered unto him, because he is Tamishwaranam Paramam Maheshwaram, because he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. No. He's beyond the Devatas. Tam Devatamam. No. Paramam Chadaivatam. He's beyond everyone. Patim Patinam Paramam Parastad. He's greater than the greatest. He's the controller of controllers. No. So, because of those qualities, he can infuse within his energies. I always make the point that just like in the material world, no one empowers a subordinate, especially a powerful subordinate, too much, because otherwise they will take over. But Krishna empowers his subordinate energy, Yoga Maya, and she takes over. But she's so surrendered to him that that taking over is under his control. And so that's one of the mysteries of Krishna. He loses control, but he never loses control. No. But in the material world, no one would. If you know that a subordinate can overpower me, you won't give him the power to do so. But Krishna does that because all of his energies are working out of love. No. Even Daivishya Gunamaya, Mama Maya, Duryodhana, even Maya, Mahamaya, she's also simply working out of love for Krishna. That's her only motivation, love for Krishna. No. So Balaram thought, these two, what's the use? I tried. No. One time Śrīla Prabhupāda said about preaching, he said, our duty is that we go and we present the book, we present the philosophy. But ultimately, the result depends on Krishna. We want the result. We try to make that result happen, making our best endeavor. But we don't become attached to the result, because Krishna may have some other idea. Krishna may want to make you humble by that endeavor, by it not being successful. So we endeavor to make it successful. Sometimes Śrīla Prabhupāda, someone would do something successful, and Prabhupada would say, so why have you not completed it? That meant that, no, Krishna wants it to be successful. No. So you got your first lesson, now go make it successful. No, otherwise make more endeavor. So this is always a balance. Just like Rupa Goswami says, that you don't want to over-endeavor, but at the same time in Krishna consciousness, you don't want to under-endeavor. It's very easy to say, oh, it's very difficult. All these people, they're just demons. No, they're karmis, demons. No, under the modes. I will just chant Hare Krishna. So to find that balance is Krishna consciousness. No. Krishna recommends, don't eat too much, don't eat too little. No, don't sleep too much, don't sleep too much. The balance. Balance is mode of goodness. No. Mode of passion means you usually go to an extreme. No. But that balance is very important in Krishna consciousness. So now we will repeat text 30. Tam punar nabisham praptam Vishayo yajayan muda Katvangam katubhir sarvaya Navrittakila vigraham Tam punarnamisham praptam Vishayo yajayan muda Kṛtbhigam Kṛtubhir Sarvai Nivritta Kila Vigraham Amgunarnamisham Bhaktam Vishayo Yajayam Muda Kṛtbhangam Kṛtubhir Sarvai Nivritta Kila Vigraham Amgunarnamisham Vishayo Yajayam Muda Nivritta Kila Vigraham. Vaishnavi. Amgunarnamisham Praptam Kṛtbhangam Kṛtubhir Sarvai Nivritta Kila Vigraham Amgunarnamisham Praptam Vishayo Buddha Kṛtbhangam Kṛtubhir Sarvai Nivritta Kila Vigraham. Tam, him, Lord Balarāma. Puna, again. Namisham, at Naimisharanya. Praptam, arrived. Vishaya, the sages. Ayajayam, engaged in performing Vedic sacrifices. Muda, with pleasure. Katu, of all sacrifices. Angam, the embodiment. Kṛtubhi, with ritualistic performances. Sarvai, all varieties. Nivritta, who had renounced. Akila, all. Vigraham, warfare. Translation and purport. Later, Lord Balaram returned to Naimisharanya, where the sages joyfully engaged him, the embodiment of all sacrifice, in performing various kinds of Vedic sacrifice. Lord Balaram was now retired from warfare. Just before reading the purport, the sages are engaging Balaram. Why? Because he is retired from warfare. Otherwise, by retiring from warfare, he was qualified to do the yajna. Because if he's in warfare, mode of passion, how can you perform yajna? No. Yajnas in the mode of passion are not recommended by Krishna. No. In the 18th chapter. And he says, actually is one verse, I think it's verse 8 in the purport, verse 8 in 18:8, Krishna says that, or Śrīla Prabhupāda says, that if one can earn money and doesn't do so, then this is sacrifice in the mode of passion. No, renunciation in the mode of passion. So you have to be in the mode of goodness. All of Krishna's recommendations in the 17th and 18th chapter are based on being in the mode of goodness. Then you get the best result. Otherwise, in the mode of passion generally means you have to repeat the activity. And mode of ignorance, the activity. So mode of goodness means you complete it properly. No. So anyway, now we'll read the purport. Purport. Śrīla Prabhupāda writes, when Lord Balarāma went to the holy place of pilgrimage at Naimisharanya, and there's something left out. The sages, saintly persons, and brahmanas all received him standing. They understood that Lord Balarāma, although a Kshatriya, was now retired from the fighting business. The Brahmins and the sages who were always for peace and tranquility, were very pleased at this. All of them embraced Balaram with great affection and induced him to perform various kinds of sacrifices in that sacred spot of Naimisharanya. Actually, Lord Balarāma had no business performing the sacrifices recommended for ordinary human beings. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and therefore he himself is the enjoyer of all sacrifices. As such, his exemplary action in performing sacrifices was only to give a lesson to the common man, to show how one should abide by the injunctions of the Vedas. So, Śrīla Prabhupāda explains that why would, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Bhoktaram yage tapasam, Krishna said, I am the enjoyer of sacrifices. Yagya bhokta, that's my business. All sacrifices should be offered to me. Therefore, in previous verses, when Balaram was touring South India, he came near Jagannath Puri, but he didn't go in the temple because he was thinking, I'm already there. I'm Baladev, I'm already there. And beside the fact that, so I don't want to go and worship myself. Even though we see, that Krishna, in his activities in Dwarka, he would wake up, he would get up, he would wash his mouth, and then he would meditate on himself. And Śrīla Prabhupāda mentions that, who else is he going to meditate on? He couldn't meditate on Srimati Radharani, but that's not, that would be difficult to do in Dwarka. But he did do that, which actually was a whole pastime, Brihat Bhagavatamrita, that which induced him to go back to Vrindavan. So he began to meditate on Vrindavan. So Balaram, but he's thinking, I'm already there, why do I need to go and meditate on myself? Krishna is already present on the earth. I'll go see him. Why should I see his deity? Subhadra is also there. She's my sister. I can go see her anytime. So I don't need to go to Jagannath Puri. So anyway, so Balaram had no reason to do this, but the reason is ate partasti kartavyam. Krishna says, Trishu lokeshu kinchana. I have nothing to do in the three worlds. Nothing to do. Nanabhaktam abhaptavyam. There's nothing scheduled for me, or there's nothing left out. But I'm doing it, Karmani. I'm doing it because if I don't do it, then, and he says the same thing that Mama Manu Vartante, Manusha Bhartam Sarvashaha, that people will follow me. People will all and that's the way that people like to follow the Supreme Personality. They don't like to follow him when he gives instructions on how to become purified. But they like to follow him if they can find some way to follow the Lord by sense gratification. And therefore, as Bhaktivinoda Thakur emphasizes in Jaiva Dharma, this is how all these modern religions have come about. They're trying to find a way. These religions are born out of a desire to exploit the Lord. Just like Krishna says in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Yayedam Varte Jagat, that the living entity tries to exploit material nature, but material nature exploits the living entity. So this is. So therefore, Balaram, he's giving an example, the Lord himself. Because ultimately, we are all servants of the Lord. But since everything comes from Krishna, he must also be a servant. Otherwise, if he's not a servant, where did it come from? So he's also the servant of the living entity. And his desire is that the living entity becomes superior. That is his greatest satisfaction. And that's why the gopis give him the greatest satisfaction, because they chastise him all the time. Mother Yashoda scolds him a little bit, no? And Nanda Maharaj is scolded. But as soon as he smiles, they stop. No. But with the gopis, he smiles, he says, no, Krishna, no, you're not going to bewilder me by it. Don't try that, no. We know your smile, no. Sometimes they can't resist. But initially, they will give that challenge. So we know in his famous pastime, he said, Rukmini, why have you married me? No? I'm a total failure. No? As a cow, I was a cowherd boy, but I don't have any cows. No. And I'm supposedly a Kshatriya, but I have no kingdom. No. So in both engagements, I failed. So therefore, I think that Shishupal is a much better. That's okay, you can go. And of course, she could not do that. And she couldn't. Of course, she was very intelligent. All of his joking words, she made it into a reverential offering to him. And of course, he knew that would happen. But he's indicating that what gives him pleasure. So the Lord is the origin of service. He wants to serve the living entity, and he's also serving all of us. He's giving all of us, every living entity is giving food, water, sunshine. We're getting a good dose of sunshine these days, And he's giving. But he's giving to his devotees the association of other devotees so that they can become Krishna conscious. This is the greatest gift that Krishna can give. So he's always engaged in serving the living entity. So this is one point. Another point in this verse, he went to Dwarka. So why did he return to Naimisharanya? Why would he return? So this is very significant in the sense that what was the purpose of his pilgrimage? What was the highlight of that pilgrimage? Was it going to all these different places? Of course, that Bhavadvida Bhagavatas Tirtha, that a holy person, what to speak of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Swantastena Gadabrita, one who has Gadabrita in the harbor, he is Gadabrita, So he definitely makes holy places into holy places. But that was already being done by devotees. He didn't have to do that. But there was one thing he had to do. The one thing he had to do in Naimisharanya was Paritarnaya Sadhunam Vinashaya Chaduskritam. But he did it in reverse order. First Vinashaya Chaduskritam. First he killed Romaharshana. That he had to do. He was the only one who could do it. If Krishna would have done it, because the whole purpose was so that the Bhagavatam could be heard. That was the purpose. If Romaharshana would have remained there, then the Bhagavatam would not have manifested. because he didn't have the potency to speak the Bhagavatam. He didn't have the qualification to speak. He was puffed up. He was actually the worst kind of duskrita. The worst kind of duskrita, just like the Mayavadis. Prabhupada said they are the greatest offenders because they appear to be holy people. They do, sometimes they're more austere than the devotees. They do more austerities. They do more sacrifices than even the devotees, externally speaking. No. But, so Ramaharshana was proud of his position. So with pride, how can he solve the problem in Naimisharanya? No. Sutta Goswami, he was the one who could solve it. That's why the sages in Naimisharanya, when they addressed him, they said that, what was it? Tattvam saumya tat sarvam. That betatvam, you know everything. And what gives you the ability to know everything? Saumya tat sarvam. Yeah, because you are saumya, you are very gentle. You are very submissive, to your spiritual masters. And tatvatas tad anugraha. And therefore, they have given this supreme absolute truth out of their mercy, out of their favor for you. They are giving it. No? Bhuryam snigdasya shishyasya. And because you were so affectionate to them, meaning you offered humble service. No? Affection coming from a subordinate means offering humble service. Affection coming from a superior means offering mercy. No? So you have offered this service, Guravo Guyam Apyuta. No? And therefore they have bestowed upon you all favors. And therefore you are qualified. The sages are saying, you are qualified. We want to hear from you. And then what did Sutta Goswami say? No? He said that what's that verse? Aham te prishtor yamano bhavadvi. That I will try to answer your questions. I will try to do that. But he says, Aryamana, because you are as powerful as the sun. I'm just a simple, but somehow or another you have chosen me. You're the great sages. He shows his humility. He's not saying, all right, I'm here. I'm here to save the day. No. He was thinking, just like we see Śrīla Prabhupāda. No. Śrīla Prabhupāda was always thinking that he had sent, that Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur had sent his disciples. He didn't see them as subordinate. He saw them as, they have come to help me. I'm insignificant. I have some faith in the holy name, but all these people have been sent by my Guru Maharaj. So this is the mood. And therefore, he says, Achaksha Atma Vagamota Yavan. That, therefore, I will do my best to explain to you. Because Navapatan Yatmasaman Patantrinas. Just as birds fly as high as they can in the sky according to their capacity, then also Tata Saman Vishnu Gatim Vipaschitaha. I will do as much as I can, because even great scholars, so he's not even considering himself a great scholar. Even great scholars can only know Vishnu up to a certain point. That's all. And so, even though he was being glorified, he showed, this is very dangerous. Therefore, Lord Chaitanya says, na dhanam na janam na sundarim kapitam ba. That be very careful. If you get some wealth, especially if you get some people who subordinate themselves to you, no, don't take advantage of it. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in Madhurya Kadambini, he says that the greatest danger is that you get some followers and then they start to glorify you, because you're doing austerity and you're doing devotional service. They're glorifying you, and then if you listen to them, then you might believe what they're saying. Oh, maybe they're right. No? Yes, no. And then he said, this is really the last snare of Maya. No? And therefore Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, even more dangerous than sex life is pratishta. It is subtle glorification, subtle feeling that I am superior. Because the intimate relationships between man and woman is, unless it's done for conception of a child, it's who can enjoy? I can enjoy, you can enjoy. I will exploit the other person. So it's actually more than the sensual part. It's just of submission. And so one has to be very careful. You get some position, don't let it go to your head. Because otherwise it's very, very dangerous. So Sutta Goswami showed us this. And therefore Balaram, yes, he went to purify the holy places, but really he wanted to paritranaya sadhunam. He wanted to establish the person who will bring the gifts. Now why didn't Krishna do that? Krishna could have done that. But Krishna, he's glorified. He's totally glorified here in the 10th canto. So it's like, here I am promoting myself. So Krishna wanted Balaram to do this. And Balaram also wanted to do it because Balaram's mission is to enhance Krishna's mission. Krishna's main mission is right here in the 10th canto. He didn't come to kill demons. He came to reveal Goloka Vrindavan. And then, while he's here, yes, he also has to, his devotees from Dwarka, his devotees from Mathura, he does his pastimes there. There are many lessons to be learned, many things, but this is what he wanted to do. So, therefore the Bhagavatam reveals this very essence of what is the essence that should dominate our hearts and our consciousness. And the Bhagavatam does this so wonderfully. So I was also thinking today, many devotees, all of us, to one degree or another, disciples to the fullest degree, God brothers, everything, we're remembering Gopal Krishna Maharaj. Because I can say, from what my experience with him, he had the same attitude. I always remember I think it was in Faridabad temple, and they had some video going on of little shorts of Gopal Krishna Maharaj, and he turned toward the camera and tears were in his eyes, and he said, Prabhupada has done so much, I've done so little. And just this desire to just do what Śrīla Prabhupāda wanted to do. So this is the perfection. Sutta Goswami here in the Bhagavatam, from the very beginning, he's glorified in this way. He can deliver the Bhagavatam because he has this attitude. Otherwise, the Bhagavatam enters into our heart. Shunbatam Shwadaya Nityam Grinatas Cha Svashashtitam. That Nati Dirgani Bhagavan Vrishate Hridi, that in very short time, if one very sincerely tries to hear Nityam, always tries to hear this Bhagavatam, and hearing the not just we sit around all day and we hear Bhagavatam, that's not bad, you know, Parikshit Maharaj did that. But it means if you hear the Bhagavatam, if you hear it reverberating, vibrating in your heart, vibrating in your consciousness, you hear some verse, we hear a verse every day, and that should resonate within our consciousness. And by that action of the Bhagavatam taking, then it enters into our heart. And then the Bhagavatam says that, what's the next verse? I can't remember it now. That pravishta, that it enters and it opens up the lotus flower of our relationship with Krishna. And then it cleanses away all things, just like the autumn rains. Cleanses away all dirty things. So this is the power of the message of the Bhagavatam. And that becomes possible. It becomes possible. It becomes a reality when we have that attitude. Sincere hearing and grinatascha svashashtitam, and endeavoring, whatever I hear, endeavoring to put it into practice. It doesn't remain on the theoretical platform, no. Or it doesn't become an object of my pride. Oh, I learned this, now let me show everyone what I know. But I must put it into practice. Let me show by my service. Let me show my surrender. No, if I want to show something, let me show how I'm surrendered. And with the idea of serving another devotee. Of course, explaining the Bhagavatam is also serving. No, but there's always the element of pride that can creep in. But if you show others by your surrender, how you surrender to service, how you're ready to do any service for Krishna, no, that is very powerful. No. Just like Jayananda Prabhu. When Prabhupada was giving Jayananda Prabhu the Gayatri, he couldn't, someone give quite right. And then Prabhupada said, whatever you say, Krishna will accept it. No? Otherwise you get it right. So sincere. No? And it was his example. He would just so surrendered that everybody would just do whatever he said, because they saw how he was willing to do everything. In the beginning in San Francisco, he did everything. He got everyone up in the morning. He cooked the breakfast. He gave the class. It wasn't much of a class, little class. He chanted with everyone. He served everyone. He took them out on Sankirtan. He drove a taxi to make some money because there was no books. And then everyone came back. He again cooked. And then he went and bought the boga also. And then he was like the last one to take rest, which is why his body deteriorated so fast, because he was so much sacrifice. Even Prabhupada told him at one point, you have to take care of yourself. He said, yes, Prabhupada. But then Prabhupada saw again he was sacrificing beyond human capabilities. And he said, what can I do, Prabhupada? I only want to serve you. The Prabhupada said, all right, no. Just, he couldn't help it. No, he just was so surrendered. So this surrender is so important. No? This is Krishna's conclusion of Bhagavad Gita. You must surrender. And Lord Chaitanya came and made that surrender possible. And now all of us, by Lord Chaitanya's mercy, by the mercy of Śrīla Prabhupāda, by the mercy of devotees like His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj and all the wonderful devotees of this Sankirtan movement, when they give their lives, it becomes the source of inspiration that allows all of us to continue. And we should see that element of surrender, that element of sacrificing everything, ultimately sacrificing this body, sacrificing my wealth. No. Pranaya artaya diya vacha. In the Bhagavatam, Krishna is speaking about the trees. And he says, so what should one do? Pranaya, give one's life. Artaya, give one's wealth. Diya, give one's intelligence. And vacha, give one's words. And I always take it you can take it in a different way. Give your life. But if you can't give your life, give your wealth. No. And if you don't have any wealth, give your intelligence. And if you don't have any intelligence, chant Hare Krishna. That way, there's always some option for everyone. So whatever your ability is. But you can surrender. So this is Balaram, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, so powerful. He could become very angry in any moment at the slightest provocation of something against Krishna's will. Yet he is showing how to surrender. The Supreme Lord. Even in this pastime, Krishna showed how to surrender. Balaram showed how to surrender. And then Krishna came again as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Balaram hoilo nitai. And Balaram come. Then they show us the Supreme Personality of Godhead accepting so much difficulty, so much that it would pain the hearts of his devotees. It would give them so much pain to see the austerities that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was doing, and Nityananda Prabhu, but just to teach all of us how to surrender. Of course, Lord Chaitanya was also enjoying, especially in Jagannath Puri, the last part of his last 12 years, and especially the last 6 years, totally absorbed. But again, he showed surrender by all of a sudden hearing the pastimes of Dhruva Maharaj, showing us that even if you're absorbed in Radha Krishna, it's not that you think that Bhagavad Gita, no, not for me. I'm beyond that. No, I'm beyond this Dhruva, Prahlad. No, only Radha Krishna. Let me go to Radha Kund and show everyone how absorbed I am. No. So Prabhupada didn't like this. Of course, you might go to Radha, although most of our acharyas, even Raghunatha Das Goswami, he went to Govardhan. He didn't consider that he was worthy to go to Radha Kund and surrender there. No. So we should take lessons. All these acharyas, the Supreme Lord himself is teaching us this process of surrender. And if we do so, then, and everyone, if you want to follow in this line, in this parampara, then we also have to surrender. No, not that, therefore, ahaituki pratiyata, no, ahaituki, no motivation other than pleasing Krishna. No. And apratiyata, it must be constant. No. Not that, yes, I will surrender as soon as I make enough money. No, I will surrender I will surrender on Janmashtami, but next day I have to do something else. So surrender should be constant, should be increasing all the time. Then Krishna will be pleased. So these are some thoughts on these verses. Any comment, question? Yes. I don't know if we have a microphone, but not. You can speak loudly. I still say we need to get one of those drones, and just carry the microphone around. Take advantage of technology.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Maharaj, you said that when we see the life of such surrendered devotees, that they become the great source of inspiration for us to continue their spiritual life. Sometimes we feel that this surrender is like natural for them, and we are far away from this. So how we can develop the surrender that they had for Śrīla Prabhupāda? How we can follow their footsteps? It is like some practices we can do or some qualities we should inculcate. What sort of things we should do to cultivate that?
Well, I see many devotees doing that all the time. No, it's how do you do it? You hear and you follow. No, you hear how this person surrendered, how Śrīla Prabhupada surrendered, how Bhaktivinoda Thakur surrendered, how so many Sankirtan devotees are surrendering, so many pujaris are surrendering. No, not like one head pujari told me, "Oh, I don't know what to do." One of the pujaris said, "He's available." He was living in the ashram. He's available for 3 hours of service. I said, "What? No. If you're living in the ashram, that means 24 hours. No. Otherwise, don't live in the ashram." Not that you'll be, on the altar 24 hours, but your whole life is surrendered. No. And so, not that kind of surrender. I'll surrender for 3 hours, but then 21 hours are, under my jurisdiction. Everything should be under the jurisdiction of Sri Guru and Gauranga. No. Everything is there. They're telling us what to do, and we do it. That's the formula. No.
Thank you, Maharaj.
As Rudyard Kipling said, "Mine is not to question why, mine is but to do or die." No. So this is surrender in a military way. No. So same thing. Mine is just to hear what the transcendental message from Parampara and execute it. No. And that is surrender. No.
Thank you, Maharaj. Krishna.
Thank you so much, Maharaj. I was just trying to connect the pieces in the last thing you quote from the military.
Now you should come to the microphone so everyone can hear.
I was just trying to connect the pieces from the classes that you told that if you want to get the things done, do it by yourself alone. That's the one thing I identified. Second thing you told that Mama Anushmara Yuddhacha, that Kṛṣṇa asked Arjuna to fight, but remembering him. And then you quoted this last statement from military. What was the quote, Maharaj? Mind?
Huh? Rudyard Kipling, yes.
Yeah, what was the quote?
Mine is not to question why, mine is but to do or die.
Do or die, right? So, and then you mentioned that yagya should be in a mode of goodness, but now to do all these things, there's an acquired mode of, I'm sorry, maybe I'm wrong, please correct me. It should be extremely in the mode of passion, because when you are in the battlefield of Kurukshetra...
if you're in the mode of passion, then you should be guided by someone in the mode of goodness. That's how the goodness is, just like Arjuna. He was in the mode of, he's a Kshatriya. Kshatriya means passion. But you should be under the jurisdiction of the Brahmins. No.
That makes sense.
Just like if someone has a lot of passion, as I say, we see you don't get anything done if you're just a Brahmin meditating on, different verses. You can get something done by instructing others. But to get something done on this physical plane, it takes some passion. Otherwise, you have to have that determination, see it through. I know one particular very philosophically advanced devotee who I used to work with. He had great ideas, but he didn't have that determination to see it through, And so he had all these wonderful ideas. And ideas are, anybody can have great ideas. I can have a great idea, we should, do this or that, take over the world. But how to do it and to make a plan that's practical to do it, that's another thing. So Prabhupada gave us that plan, the grassroots plan. Prabhupada actually gave us the grassroots plan, which is we give everyone his books. But he also gave us the plan, preach to the intelligent people and the leaders. And because they will, if they take up Krishna consciousness, then everyone will take it up. Just like when George Harrison sang My Sweet, so many people heard the Hare Krishna mantra. Millions of people heard the Maha mantra. they wouldn't have heard it on Harinam Sankirtan. You know? And so, if we can just make one great person, great personality, you know, like if we made Elon Musk a devotee, and, you know, then the whole world. So so we work on both fronts, because it's not so easy to make a great person surrender and just go on television and say, I'm the Prime Minister or I'm the President, and everyone should just chant the holy name of Krishna because this is the most wonderful thing, Even many famous people who have taken up Krishna consciousness, they keep it very hidden because it will ruin their career. And we made the mistake of some very famous people, musicians, etc., came and we took pictures with them and started advertising everywhere, and one of them totally ruined their career.
Yeah.
People stopped, buying their music. And, it's a Hare Krishna.
Yeah.
And so, when in our days of having a kind of negative Sankirtan image,
Yeah.
and so anyway, point is that we work on different fronts, but the grassroots front is the secure one. You may even preach to a famous person. They may like what you say, but they may not be able to give that example to others.
Yeah.
But if you give a book to someone, or if you take the time to preach Krishna consciousness and cultivate them, that's a sure thing. Sure thing that Krishna consciousness will enter into their heart. So what you're doing and what many devotees are doing and what all sincere devotees are doing in the Sankirtan movement, even the pujari, just by dressing the deities so beautifully, they're preaching to so many people. Here is Krishna. He's the most beautiful person, most wonderful person. Just like I remember some temples I went to many years ago, where they're not, it's like the deity looks like, it's a poverty-ridden, it's like some stiff cloth coming off here, some garland is already wilted, and the pujari is like sitting there reading the newspaper. I saw that in one temple, and I thought, Hare Krishna, thank God for his God. Śrīla Prabhupāda taught us how to serve the deity, how to do everything first class for Krishna's pleasure. And when Krishna is pleased, then everyone becomes pleased. So.
Well, thank you for directing us to contact Elon Musk. When it gave his name, Vishwanath Prabhu is a target now. So maybe he's coming in the US and he'll be giving the book to Elon Musk.
Yeah, everyone has a particular ability. We just have to give everything in that particular area of endeavor. Whatever it may be, Krishna will be happy. Even if you just make flower garlands, you just make them very beautiful, and the Lord will be so happy to receive this beautiful garland. I remember I was in China many years ago, and I saw this man, he had this piece of ivory, and he carved these little intricate designs, and then going inside, he made a sphere, and then he carved another sphere inside of that, and another one inside of that. I asked him how long it took. He said, it takes about 7 years. But he sells one of them, and he's set up for life. Otherwise, 7 years, because he's carving, and then he's hollowing it all out so there's a sphere within the sphere, and then he carves intricate designs within that one through the first one, and then he carves another one through the other two, and then and he did seven spheres. He was on like number 5 when I saw him, and he didn't speak any English, but I found someone. I just was fascinated by this, patience. Talk about patience. And so the point is, a devotee should be like that, just wanting to get the finest offering for Krishna, even if it's the simplest activity, but just make the best I can possibly do within the means that are available to me. And that's the secret to pleasing Krishna. We don't have to put it on a relative platform. Just like the gopis, sometimes they have transcendental envy. They see another gopi and they want to do better than that gopi. But it's not to surpass the other gopi. It's to, that gopi is pleasing Krishna so much, let me see how she's doing it and do more so that Krishna will be more pleased. No question of surpassing. That is my guru. No. But I want to please Krishna. So my guru has taught me to go even one step further. No. Hare Krishna, this is the last question.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, please accept my obeisances.
Jai.
Thank you for beautifully giving us remembrance of Lord Krishna and increasing it, and for inspiring us to serve purely. And I now we have the opportunity or facility that when we hear these classes, and we in daytime and other times also, we do get the remembrance of the instructions. Like Lord Balarāma mentioned it externally also, sometimes someone guides us, or also we get the guidance ki what Bhagavad Gita says, but again we ignore that due to maybe lower modes. So how to come to the higher modes, or how to still, as you mentioned, be in the guidance of someone who is in higher mode of goodness?
Every day of course we chant as sincerely as possible, but if we're in the Bhagavatam class, or if we're not in an audience or a setting, we hear at least one verse of Bhagavatam and put it into practice. Otherwise, that's real hearing. Real hearing means, what can I learn from this verse of Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita, and let me put it into practice. Not that I heard it and then I forget about it. No. That's why Prabhupada also had this system of hearing the verse, we repeat it, something sinks in. And the purification is there from hearing the Bhagavatam being recited, and then you hear the translation, and then you meditate. No. The Bhagavatam is a meditation. No. That's why I quoted that verse, Shrunvatam Shradaya Nityam. No, it's a meditation. No. And always putting it into practice. Hare Krishna. So thank you all very much for your kind attention. All glory to Śrīla Prabhupāda. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande. His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande.